Guest of honour, Brian Maxted. Brian, the legend of Brian Maxted, 2 years undefeated in the 500s. No, tremendous achievement.
3 years.
3 years undefeated, tremendous achievement.
Yeah, not so bad, no. It's one of them things when you're a boy, isn't it, really?
It's great that Graham puts this meeting together and gets you stars of the past back together, isn't it?
Yes, it is. The first time I've been to a Grasstrack meeting for 30 years.
Now, my remembrance of you is the Spalding Club and all those golden helmet meetings.
Yeah, that's... we actually started racing at Sleaford, which is not far away, but Spalding was my sort of open track, really, and then we'd go to Skegness meetings on a Sunday. They do a double header like. Yeah.
And your speedway career, I can remember you at Scunthorpe and at Sheffield, but you're actually just telling me you actually started off at Wolverhampton under another great grass tracker who was the promoter there, Bill Bridget.
Yeah, we started racing at Wolverhampton in 1963-64, and went down and on a Friday night, had a bit of a go, and then Bill put me in the team the next meeting, and sort of rode there for I think 5 years at Wolverhampton, then went on to Sheffield, and then as I sort of got older, ended up at Scunthorpe, but not for long. I think I only rode there probably a couple of months, and it was about the time I retired.
I think that when you actually rode in the grass, it was one of the real boom eras of grass track racing, wasn't it?
Oh yes, I mean, every Sunday we were out, and we used to get double headers all the time. Spalding always used to be on a Saturday night. It used to be Spalding, Boston, Sleaford, Navenby, Newark, all in our area, which there was always a meeting on. Never went a weekend without a meeting.
And this was the thing, as you said, in all areas. I mean, I come from the Midlands Centre, and every Sunday within 30 miles of where I live, there was a grass track meeting. It was the same in your... Did you?
Oh no, if I went sort of 50 miles, I'd gone a long way, really. I mean, Sleaford meetings that used to be there, that's like 12 miles for me, and Navenby, of course, was only 3 miles. And then we used to have them at Brampbruton as well, run by Navenby Club or Newark Club.
It's a great thing. I mean, this is probably one of the tracks that's renowned in grass track racing, this Rhodes Minnis circuit, unique circuit, and it's a tremendous effort on Graham's part that he's kept this track going, isn't it, and got it back in operation again.
Yes, very good. I mean, it's, the sport's gone downhill, isn't it, really, to what it used to be, and to bring all the boys back together is really good. I haven't been to any meetings, and I didn't want my son to join in it, you know, so, and I've lost him last year, actually, it'll be a year in October, so he told me to lighten up before he died and decided to come.
Thanks, Sam Wilbur. Have a great day today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
In the pits this morning with Shaun, Harvey and Danny Hogg. Guys, first visit out there today, first visit for the 500 Sidecars. What do you think of it so far?
I think it's a lovely looking track. It's nice and big. I mean, we've done one like this a couple of weeks ago in Holland. I don't think it's quite as big as this, so we're looking forward to going around it.
Coming off the back of a successful season, current British champions obviously, do you think you should do well here, or...?
I think this is our sort of track, where it's big and fast. I think that suits us better rather than the smaller one.
Danny, where do you think your main competitors are going to come today?
I think the usual suspects, you have the Reeds, Nick here and Leslie himself. I mean, they've got such a strong lineup, the 500 Sidecars at the moment, that anyone's in with a shout today. But hopefully we'll come out on top again, hopefully.
How exactly do you have to change your setup for a normal grass track, considering how the diversity of the track here compared to a normal round bumpy track?
Well, we run different gear in here. We're probably about 4 or 5 teeth up on what we normally are, and also we've had a few things changed with the engine. So hopefully it'll suit it.
Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you at the end of the day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. In the pits with Neal Owen today, Finance Sidecars. Neal, have you been out for practice yet?
No, just on the last look at the track. Still don't know what to make of it, but can't wait to get out there.
I take it this is the first time you've ridden this track?
Yes, yeah, it is. Yeah.
What sort of gearing change have you got to make compared to a normal track that you've been doing?
Looking at the streets, is you've got to sort of combine the streets with the climbs, so I'm really half and half to get the gearing right. It's going to be big decisions just before the racing starts, I think, on the gearing.
And how have your season been going so far?
Slow to start, but then it really picked up well. We won the Southern Centre Championships for the second time, which is a good boost to the ego. Bit disappointing in the Masters qualifier, but we're second reserve and we're going to give it a shot anyway.
So we can expect to see you on the podium today then?
We're going to give it a hell of a good shot, yes.
Good luck and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Rod, you've been using a new frame from the beginning of last year. It's been working really well for you. How do you feel you're going to do today?
I think we should go alright. We've a misfire at the moment. We're hoping to cure that. We did alright here last year. I think we finished second last year. We're going to try to improve that by one place this year if we can. We'll see how it goes.
You go really well. You get better as the day goes on. Is that to do with how you change a bike, or is it just getting used to the track and stuff?
That's we've been
not as lazy off the start. Like.
yeah, waking up during the day really. No, it's really we just trying to get to grips with this new steer frame. It's totally different to his old frame. And as each race goes on, you think, well, I'll try this, I'll alter this, I'll alter that, and each race you make an alteration, it gets a little bit better. So that's how you just improve each race. Like.
This new frame you've got seems to be working really well. Do you reckon that was the right way to go to be getting that?
Definitely, yeah. We got to a position where we weren't going any further, so we had to either make a new one ourselves, which we haven't really time for, or we bought this steer. And it was a step forward for us.
Justin, they're using a new format today, the Super 6. What do you feel of that?
I don't mind it really. I'm not so keen on the idea that the four which don't get in to the final straight away go straight through to the semi. I think it should be on the points which they get through the day, and then the semi goes from that. But it doesn't bother me. It takes a bit less pressure off the heat for us to get through. So.
You've got the Masters next week. How are you hoping to do there?
Hoping for another title, but we'll just have to see. We're getting the bike working slowly away now. I was struggling with it last season, so I've made a new seat and we've made a few alterations, and we're getting there now, so we'll see how we go.
How do you feel you're going to do today then? Who do you think your main competition is going to be?
Paul, Duncan and John Halsey mainly, I think.
Good luck today, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Matt, you've had a brilliant Speedway season, you're leading the title. This track's totally opposite to Speedway, so how do you feel you're going to do?
I don't know. We're still trial and error with the grass strip, but I feel comfortable in practice. Once we get drive, I'm fairly confident we can get amongst them and do our best today, hopefully.
They've got a new format they're using today, the Super 6 with past Masters. How do you feel about that?
I think it's ideal. You've got to put a bit of spice into the season, and I think it'd be good racing, especially with the top six. And hopefully we meet them in the semis.
Have you ever ridden this track before?
Once, and bike was playing up a bit, but it's very, very. Once it dries out and gets dry, it's going to be a very, very quick track. Very true.
Who do you reckon's going to be the ones to beat today then?
We'll see. Sorry, being predictable, but Rob Wilson is on a mission at the moment, and I do believe my money's on him today. Really is.
How are you hoping to do? Are you hoping to get into the semis with the other guys?
After it'll be over the moon, make the semis, and a final will be brilliant. It'll be absolutely brilliant.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Steve, you have quite a jumpy season. How have you been going this year?
Yeah, up and down really. I've had some good meetings and some rubbish meetings really, so it's all right. I'd just like to have a good one today.
How do you like this track? You've ridden here before?
I'm not a lover of this track. I broke my leg here 2 years ago, so I ain't a lover of it. But I just have to get on with it.
You've been out for practice. How did it go?
One bike was rubbish, and the other one was a little bit better, so not too good.
How are you hoping to go here today then? You're going to try and do better than you have done in pre-season?
Oh yeah, I've got to do better. I've only finished, I think, 6th last year, and the year before I didn't even finish, so anything's better than that.
I haven't got a lot of solos here today, so how are you hoping to do? Win?
Yeah, I do hope for a win, but if it don't come, it don't come at the end of the day.
Who do you think your main competition's going to be here today?
Everyone really. Jamie Rogers, Lewis Denham, Richard All. There's quite a few of them.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Paul, you've rebuilt your engine this week. Was this for this meeting in particular?
I wanted to get ready for the Masters. I thought I'd rebuild it this week, run it out this week, so see how it goes.
How have you done on this track before previously?
We won last year, and the year before we got a third, so I quite like the track.
So you're hoping to keep up your reigning championship this year then?
I would like to think so, but we'll see how it goes.
You're in the Super 6 title because you've been a Masters champion. How do you find that? Obviously, it's going to work to your advantage.
I don't know about work to their advantage. I'm quite looking forward to it. I always like riding against the better people, so looking forward to it.
Do you feel that because you're riding against the same people throughout the day, is that going to not be too good for you?
No, I'm really looking forward to it. I dare say there's going to be different winners, so it's going to be good.
How are you hoping to do today? Obviously, you want to go straight into the final, or do you mind going into the semis?
I don't mind going in the semis. Obviously, I'd like to go straight into the final, finish in the top 3 if we can.
Looking forward to next week for the Masters?
Oh, very much so. We didn't think we could win it last year, so maybe this year we can do it again. You never know.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Rob, I hear you love this track because it's a bit different. How do you feel you're going to do today?
Things have been going quite well just lately. Finally got back up to speed, so hopefully if everything goes to plan, we should be all right.
You won the Lincolnshire Poacher, but that's very different to this track. This has more tips and turns. How do you feel it's going to compare to that?
I think it's equally as fast. You maybe have to think about it a bit more, whereabouts you turn into the corner, and just set yourself up right, and hopefully if everything goes for you, it'll be all right.
In the past, how have you done on this track? You've had some quite good ones?
We've always been there with the speed, but always had one bad heat, which has cost us a place in the A final, but we've won the B final twice, I think, and set quick times, so we just have to be in the right final.
How's your machinery? Is it any gremlins, or is it going all right?
So far, everything's good.
You're using this new Super 6 thing today, which you're in because you're a past master. How do you feel that's going to work?
I think it'll be pretty interesting, actually. Obviously, I've never raced this format before. I've only just started riding with Rob. We're trying a new machinery today, which is a twin, so it's going to be a learning curve as well, but it should be challenging racing. We've got finals nearly all day with the Super 6, so obviously you're going to find out what the final's going to be like. So,
will you be disappointed if you don't get into the top 2, or will you be all right with going into the semi?
Well, the only 2 I'm bothered about is them 2 top steps, and that's all that matters.
Well, good luck, guys.
Thank you very much.
Damien, you won here last year. Are you hoping to do the same here today?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Just trying new things out, try and belt drive out on my bike, and that'll just see how we go. Like,
You've just been out for practice. How did you find it?
yeah, it was a lot better than first practice. A lot grippier now. So all I can do is go out and try my first race and see how we go on.
You had quite a bad accident at the Champion of Champions. Are you fully recovered from that?
Yeah, I'm getting there. It sometimes gives me a bit of jip light, but I'll get there with it.
How do you think you're going to do today? Do you reckon you're going to have quite good competitors?
Yeah, there's going to be some good competitors today, yeah, but all I've got to do is try my best, and if I make it gate, I think I can do it. Like,
you obviously won here last year, so do you like this track? Does it work well for you?
yeah, it seems to, yeah. If I get my bike set up, I can seem to do it, like, so.
Do you find it a bit different to the others with all like the jumps in it and the hills?
Yeah, it is a lot different, yeah.
Is it harder to run like that? Do you have to change the bike setup?
Yeah, you have to change your bike setup, yeah. It's to do a few alterations, but you get there.
Alright, well, good luck today.
Cheers.
We're going to call up first of all our guest of honour, our main guest of honour for today. And
Stanlock and Dave Mitchell.
Can we have Stanlock and Dave Mitchell up as well, please? Stanlock and Dave Mitchell. Now, the first rider we're going to call up is a rider who rode for 3 seasons unbeaten on the grass. He also had speedway experience, many times winner of the Golden Helmet at the Spalding and Clay Lake Club. Will you please put your hands together for Mr. Brian Maxted? Brian, obviously fond memories to come back and look at this unique track.
Yeah, it's a long time, 35 years ago, I'm afraid. yeah, had a few tussles around here. Always dusty though, them days.
Obviously a track that's very, very different to anything else you normally race on.
Yeah, usually we're on flat tracks, but this is more like a mountain and grasses, would sort of call it. A road track similar to this in Derbyshire, but this is a unique one, really.
Now that record of 3 years unbeaten, that's really something to be proud of, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so, really. You don't seem to...
A very modest man.
You don't think a lot of it at the time, like, but I was pleased when I did get beat. It took the weight off me a bit.
And obviously the Clay Lake and Spalding Club, that golden helmet, you were telling me you've still actually got that golden helmet.
Yeah, I won that many times. I decided to give me it in the end. They got too many names on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honour, Mr. Brian Maxted. A familiar face in this neck of the woods, John Britcher. John, you two must have tremendous memories of this track.
Oh yes, back in the sort of 70s, it was the best track going. Yeah, it was always a pleasure to ride here.
And I think it was fair to say, particularly in those days, Kent was the hotbed of grass track racing, wasn't it?
Oh yes, it was all going on around this area, yeah.
Any particular race you can remember going round here that you can bring to mind?
Well, one of the Grand Slam, you know, I forget when I won it now, about 76, something like that. I suppose that was my best one.
And you see the youngsters going now with the lay-down engines. Do you wish you were young enough to go back out there again?
Yeah, I'd like to have a go on one of those, yeah. But I think Stan Lucky's going to sponsor me next year on one.
So all being well, we'll see you back at it next year then.
Yeah, I hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Britcher. We're now going to have two stalwarts of grass track racing, one a local man and three stalwarts, Mr. Eric Burridge, Mr. Don Godden and Mr. Lou Coffin. So will you please put your hands together for those three gentlemen, please. Mr. Burridge, again, it must be great for you to come back and see this fabulous track.
Yeah, there's very few of us left now that did what we did in those days, and it's a great honour to be here and really enjoying it. It's a lovely track.
What did you think when you saw these youngsters tearing around this track they used to grace so many years ago?
Well, we used to go as quick as them. We had gears, and the bikes weren't what they are today, and we used to have to bind our hands up to stop the vibrations and that. They don't do any of that today. But they're good, and I think we were better actually.
I think it's great that Graham puts in so much effort to keep this track going, doesn't it? I mean, it's got so much history in British grass tracking. We can't afford to lose any grass tracks, but this one in particular we definitely mustn't lose, must we?
For sure, it must be kept, and I do like it because it really tests the people on different gradients, whereas the straight speedway type of track, which is we didn't do any of that, did we?
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. We'll turn to Don, the other local man. Don, virtually on your doorstep here, the first real professional grass tracker they called you. Again, you must be delighted to be back here again.
Yeah, this track is unique, and because of that, it's got to be maintained. It has, I think, almost worldwide, it's unique.
Does it remind you of any of the tracks on the continent, anything like this on the continent at all? I mean, obviously you're the man that's ridden on the continent many, many times.
There's only one like this, and that's in the former East Germany, and that's called Tetro, which is not that dissimilar to this one, but Rhodes Minnis probably is quicker than Tetro.
It must be unique for you because obviously you've ridden this track, your son is now riding it, and that must have a special thought for you.
Frightens me to death. No argument.
Now, is he quicker than you or not so quick? Now, be honest.
The results speak for themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, what more can you say, Mr. Don Godden? A visit to this part of the world, he's seen virtually everywhere, the tracks. He looks younger every time I see him. Mr. Lou Coffin. Lou, again, great memories for you.
Great memories. Beautiful track. And we got to thank Graham and his gang for a wonderful show they put on. So whatever they put on, it's always a good show. And this is a real racer's track. And we could do with a few more circuits like this in the country, but trying to find them is very, very difficult.
Little bit unique this afternoon, first time for the 500 sidecars. Be interested to see how they cope with this track, won't it?
They're loving it. They said to me, we've never had nothing like this. This is wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lou Coffin. Mr. Gerry and Steve Wheeler, will you please put your hands together? Sidecar races of the past. Gentlemen, your thoughts on this place?
Oh, well, the place is wonderful, isn't it? It's a natural amphitheatre. It's as smooth as a billiard table. When we used to ride, it was like a ploughed field, but these days it looks fabulous, doesn't it?
Now, you've got your leathers on. Are you going to be some of the gentlemen that's going to go around and give us a demonstration?
Yes, we're planning to potter around, just to bring back a few memories, etc. My favourite track of all time this was. I must have ridden on hundreds, but this was it.
Now, you say you're going to pot around. Now, once you get on the bike, how far are you going to pull that throttle back once you've done the first feeler lap? Are you really going to go for it, or are you just going to pot around?
Well, last night my wife sealed off third and top gear, so I can only use second.
Yeah, but how fast can you make it go in second?
Well, we've geared it up a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve and Gerry Wheeler. Next gentleman we call up, Mr. Eddie Black. He was 4th in the last ever Sidecar Grand Slam. Eddie, I'm told you're a little bit nervous, but again, it must have been unique to race in that last one before Graham revived it.
Fantastic, absolutely brilliant place. It's one of the best tracks I can ever remember being on. The faster and the bigger, they were more entertaining as far as I was concerned.
Was that your best ever meeting, do you think, round here, or was there another meeting you can bring to mind? Perhaps you didn't finish so high up the score chart, but you had a fabulous meeting nevertheless.
Yeah, we raced down in Kent no more than about 4 times, but every meeting was good. 2 times here at Rhodes Minnis, and then we did the one at Great Chart, and yeah, we had pretty good results. Never really came first, but we had good results.
Now, you've looked at the lads going round on the modern sidecars. What do you think of the equipment they ride nowadays?
Fantastic, brilliantly engineered. I mean, in those days we all made our own kit as far as the sidecar riders were concerned.
Now, Neal Owen on the Godden, that sounds more like the outfits that you used to ride. It has a distinct sound all of its own, doesn't it?
That's right, brilliant. And so does the Aprilia that Rob Bradley's running around today. Absolute brilliant sound.
Interesting with Rob, he went out the first practice, and the second practice he went back out on his other bike, didn't he? I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, he seems more comfortable on that one, doesn't he? So you got to use the best kit.
Looking forward to today, and it's great to see so many of you guys here today, isn't it? It must bring back many fond memories for you.
Absolutely, yeah. Brian Maxted, we used to talk together years ago in Lincolnshire and round home that way. It's great to see him. And John Dennis Whittaker last year, he was here. Brilliant to see him. And I've heard John Whittaker's here somewhere around, roaming around. Brilliant.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eddie Black. Now, Mr. Dave Palmer and Mr. Pete Randell. Dave, again. No, I'm Pete. Oh, sorry, Pete. You've aged a little bit since last time, same as I have. Pete, local man round here. You've had many, many times round here, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been round here quite a few times and really enjoyed it. It's a nice track. One of the best tracks there is, I think. All nice and smooth at the moment.
And it's great that Graham, I say, has revived this and brings back you gentlemen. It must bring back so many memories.
Oh, it does. It's really, really enjoyable to come down here, and see it all again after all these years.
I mean, again, you were a gentleman that raced in the era when there was virtually a grass track in this part of the woods every Sunday afternoon, wasn't there?
That's right, Edcorn, Tenderton and all them tracks. Really enjoyable, yeah.
Going away from this track, any particular favourite meeting you can recall where you did particularly well that the fans would like to know about?
I can't think of any at the moment. This one, I always had bad luck here. A broken valve and an engine went sick of me when I was doing well, but, not too bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Randell. Dave Palmer, again, what can I say? You must be so delighted to be here.
I am very much so. This is one of my favourite tracks when I was riding. It was always fast, and all the Astra Club were always good people to ride for. It was very nice.
Does this track take a particular form of riding, and do you have to ride it different to any other grass track in the country?
Yes, most definitely. It's not like a speedway track. It's just a good grass track, similar to a sort of mountain grass track, if you like to put it that way. It's a bit bumpy in places, but it's nice and fast. That's the main thing.
Now, I've got written down here that Dave Hembley will be bringing your original Hagen Greaves, which you finished third in the 1967 250 National here at Rhodes.
That's quite correct. In fact, I mustn't say this, but I would have won it because I packed up on the last corner here when the core lead broke, and I still had enough points to finish third, so I was quite happy about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dave Palmer. Right, a gentleman now, one of the unique men to grass track racing, solo and sidecar rider, Mick Cameron. Mick, again, I've got to say, you must be delighted to be back.
Absolutely chuffed to monkeys, mate. Absolutely chuffed to monkeys, especially that I'll be able to have a couple of laps around on a Godden V-twin today as well. So, only dressed like this, though. Not going to go stupid.
So if Steve and Gerry go out with you and wind up the revs, what are you going to do? Go out dressed like that? Are you going to keep up with them or just go at your own pace?
I think I'll have to stop for a beer.
Again, you've seen these lads with this modern day equipment. Do you envy them on what they ride nowadays, or were you absolutely happy with the bikes that you rode?
Absolutely happy with the ones I rode. I've been sponsoring my boy doing the World Series F1 sidecars. Fed up with it, so we've got a BMW claws end director outfit we're going to be doing it with.
Again, what fond memory have you got of this place?
Oh, the piss ups in the evening, really. And but a bad memory was when my mate Brian Stibbs got killed down the corner there, and then to help it out, myself and my passenger, we walked round and round and round, collected silver off people to make the trophy for Brian and my father. So it was well pleased. Always remember his Folkestone track.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mick Cameron, John Whittaker and Wally Brammell, the last big winners of the Grand Slam on this Rhodes Minnis track. Will you please put your hands together for these two gentlemen? Tremendous memories again. You were the last big winners. You must be delighted that Graham has revived this track and brought it all back for us, for modern day race fans.
Oh yes, definitely, yeah. I've tried to get down for the last 2 years, but I've been other things on. But to see it in the state it's in, it's absolutely brilliant. It really is, yeah.
Now, what sort of speed do you think these lads, are they quicker than what you used to be in the sidecars now, or do you think it's still on par?
Well, I think they're a little bit quicker now to what we used to ride. I mean, we used to get all our outfits and engines from the scrappies. I mean, they really go this time.
Do you think the comradeship's the same nowadays? You lads used to borrow bikes and do things, but really, it's still an amateur sport in itself, but it was even more amateur in your days, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah. No, I don't think it is to that degree, because for the simple reason the outfits and things cost that much more money now. Whereas our days, like John said, we built them all up ourselves and everything, so therefore you would do anything to get anybody out. You'd lend anybody anything at all to get them out, But it's so much money nowadays, it's a different ball game altogether, isn't it, really?
It's still, as you say, an amateur sport. It's still the amateurness of motorcycle racing, and it still retains that great family atmosphere, doesn't it?
It does, very much so. Like Gerry Willie, he's got his bike here this year. Hopefully I'll bring mine next year and we'll have a race together.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Wally Brammell and John Whittaker, thank you very much indeed. Next gentleman we call up, Mr. Charlie Sharp, South Eastern Centre rider, started racing in 1948 and 1949. Charlie, you must have a whole host of stories you can tell us.
I feel a little bit like grandfather here, but a little note I'd like to say that when I first started was in this area at Barham, and I started with none other than John Surtees, who rode a Vincent HRD in a Grasstrack meeting. Never seen him since.
And a lot of people didn't see John Surtees. He was gone in the dust when he went on the road, wasn't he?
Yes, it was a different world. I'm very pleased to be here, and that motorcycle Grasstrack racing is still alive. Thank you very much for your attention.
And it's great that Graham brings you gentlemen back. I know he thinks so much of you people. He feels that you should be here on this prestigious track, on this prestigious day, and it's great that he does that, isn't it?
We are extremely excited, is the word, I think, to be here with you all again today.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Charlie Sharp. Thank you very much. Another local lad, a man who rode in many, many meetings here. Tremendous grass tracker throughout his career, Mr. Stan Luck. Will you put your hands together, please, for Stan Luck? Stan, I can remember you racing as I was a younger man, and it was a real hotbed down here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We really enjoyed it, and it was, well, I don't know, it was good.
So many of you, Tony Black, Alan Anger, Chris Stewart, all you lads, week in, week out, you raced, you fought it out on the. Well. I know you did. You fought it out on these Kent tracks time and time again, didn't you?
Yeah, and it was good racing, and it was close, and out here we were enemies, but off the track we were friends.
Was this one of your favourite tracks?
Yes. Yeah, we had some quite good results down here, and used to enjoy it.
Any particular reason why you rated it one of your because of the uniqueness of it, or it just suited your style of riding?
I think it suited my style. I wasn't very good at little circles in the middle of a field, I like Grasstrack,
How has it changed now? You drive in and you see the cornfields and the track in the middle. What was it like when you used to come here and race? What the entry there? What is different now to what it used to be in those days?
In those days there was more butterflies.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Stanlock. Thank you very much. Two visitors from further afield, Mr. Denny Barber and Mr. Joe Hughes. Joe, I know you're still involved in the sport with your spares van, but this must bring back happy memories of racing days.
It certainly does. I never rode in the Grand Slam, but I did ride here in the Inter-Centre Championships, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I like any track that's sort of not the normal flat 500 metres, tetro, Rhodes Minnis, one or two up Derbyshire, like Brian mentioned, tracks with a bit of gradient, bit of adverse camber. Very interesting.
And it must be a delight for you to come back like the rest of them and meet up with so many old faces again today.
Just to meet up, but a bit less of the old.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Hughes. Denny Barber, I can remember your great racing with Tony Steggles in the Eastern Centre. It's fabulous racing in those days, you two.
That's right, Steggy and I were sort of, although we weren't actually a team, we were sort of deemed to be a team most of the time, I think. Yeah.
You've got good memories of coming to this track?
I've got one memory, I think that must have been about the last time they ran it here, which was in Inter-Centre Championship. And unfortunately, my biggest memory was laying down on the bend over there with Chris Pusey's foot through my back wheel. But pleased to say, neither of us were badly hurt. And I think that's probably about the last time they run it. So.
Interesting you say about the Inter-Centre, because in those days that was as an important meeting as anything you raced. I mean, a lot of the time we don't even run it now, but in those days it really was a very, very prestigious meeting, wasn't it?
Well, I think perhaps that's the sign of the times. I mean, those days, I don't know much about the modern grass track, because from my area that's all gone completely, but I mean, it was a friendly thing. You never got paid anything for it. You all did quite a lot of miles sometimes to get there, and you all did your best for the team, on the day. And I think that was probably the camaraderie, the thing which may be missing today. I don't know, but that was something what was prevalent then. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dennis Barber. Ladies and gentlemen, another visitor from up north, the first winner of the Sidecar Grand Slam, one of the legends of sidecar racing, Mr. Dave Norris. Dave, it's a pleasure to meet you, and at the risk of repeating myself, you must be so happy to be back here.
Yeah, this was one of the real grass tracks. Yeah, very good.
I know you raced a lot in the Derbyshire area. I mean, and you were the top man up there, and you were the top man for many, many years, weren't you?
Well, amongst others, right? Yeah.
What was, I mean, you look at the Speedway magazines, you see that the outfits you raced to what these lads have got now, they're almost like road racing it, with it so slimmed down. You virtually put together what you could, didn't you?
Well, we had to, because that's the only way you could race then, was to make your own kit and look after it, yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask a very personal question. Now, you won the first Sidecar Grand Slam ever. Can you remember exactly how much prize money you got for that?
Not really, but I think it'd be about £3, 10 shillings or £5 or something, wouldn't it?
And that was an awful lot of money then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of money then, yeah.
The other difference, of course, was travelling down to a place like this. No motorways. It was a real hard journey to get down here, wasn't it?
Well, it was, but I seem to recollect they used to give us, like, 50 shillings or something for travelling expenses, yeah.
Are we going to see you out in the demonstration today?
Well, I'm not running round.
Ladies and gentlemen, the visitor from up north, Mr. Dave Norris. 1967 350 champion, local man Chris Stewart. Chris, again, tremendous days, weren't they?
Well, yeah, I had 12 good years of racing, starting in 1962, and to come to these meetings and see all the old riders, Lou Coffin, Monty Banks and Don Godden, it's a great thrill, it's a good meeting.
It's great that the lads keep in touch and still come to meetings like this, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think we've all, because we did all those racing all those years ago, and we have lots of chats, lot to talk about, burn a lot of oil, as they say. So it's a good day for me anyway, marvellous.
And down here was a very, very competitive area, wasn't it? In all classes, you really had to ride hard if you wanted to win.
Well, I think that's in general, really. Most riders, if you're going to do well, you've got to go for it, as they say.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Stewart. Ladies and gentlemen, this man really shouldn't be out here now. We've got another legend of the sidecar world, and he's still as quick as he was all those years ago. He's going to be racing this afternoon. He's qualifying for the Masters. He absolutely flies again. Big welcome, Mr. Steve Smith. Steve, I saw you in practice. You look pretty quick out there again.
Yeah, it's the track's brilliant. I mean, it's the last time I rode this track was in 1968. At the Inter-Centre team, and it hasn't changed that much, and it's still as exciting to race.
Now, I know the sidecar lands go on for a long time, but Steve, it's not age you've been out here with these gentlemen, because they've retired and you're still racing and still going as quick as ever, aren't you?
Well, I feel a bit of a party pooper being in the company of a lot of these people. There's a lot of legends here, and it's great that they've come to support this meeting.
What was the difference? You last rode it in 68. What did you find different today to when you rode it in 68?
Well, obviously the motorcycle is a lot quicker now than it was in 68, and I think I'm right in saying that the last time I rode it, the track wasn't across the field, but it was up and down. But even so, because of the undulations and the way the land is, the natural land, it's still very exciting to ride.
Going up to the future, a lot of problems to get you into the Masters. You've got in the qualifier, you've qualified. You must be delighted to be back in the Masters again.
Yeah, I am, yeah. I'm not going to say any more than that, and don't ask for any predictions.
Now, just another question. Compared to 68 now, what changes have you made to your bike, today's bike that you ride, to ride this track today?
Could you ask that question?
Yeah. Obviously, it's a different sort of track to what you normally ride. With the modern bikes that you ride now, do you have to change the bike in any particular way to ride this unique track, or do you just tune it up and set it up as if it's an ordinary grass track?
It'll be no different today than it is at any other meeting. As the track changes during the course of the day, you should be altering your motorcycle to, to compensate the conditions that change. I mean, in practice it was very slick, and it's still slick in places, but then you go into the corners and you hit lots of drive. So you've got to try and compensate that with the setup of the machine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Steve Smith, who we see in action later on. Another local man, one of the first heroes of sidecar racing on this track. Whenever you read the motorcycle news in those days, this man was always there in the results. Please put your hands together, Mr. Charlie Coleman. Tremendous hand, Charlie. Again, you flew around this place, didn't you?
A few times. Yeah, from the 60s through to the 70s when it packed up.
I mean, you really, in that era, was the man to beat in this centre, weren't you?
Centre, yes.
Bruce Ford Dunn, I think, was around at your same time. He was another very quick man, but you generally just managed to have the edge, didn't you?
Yeah, well, then he went left-handed, Bruce, left and right-handed. So
and he's
for a little while.
Any special race that you can bring to mind on this superb track?
Quite a few, really. One meeting here with Alan Martin, another local bloke. We had some good races. I think the start was over that side then, but that's a long time ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Charlie Coleman. Next gentleman we call up, solo champion on this track, and the man that was instrumental in the swivel sidecar, Mr. Arnie Hendrickson. Arnie, great to be back.
Thank you very much. It's nearly 50 years since I first rode here, and it was warmer then. A lot warmer. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a little bit of sunshine today. Fond memories, obviously, again of this tremendous circuit.
It was a great track. We had a lot of fun here, and good friendly atmosphere, and well, we just generally enjoyed it. It was a real family sport even then. None of us had any money, and we had to win the race to pay for the tyre we're going to have to buy when we went home,
And if you won that race, how much money did you pick up, and how much was the price of that tyre?
Oh, it was a hell of a lot of dough. It was £6.50, I think, if you won the final. And if you won the heat, they took 50 pence off you if you qualified for the final. Yeah, amazing it was.
After the success on the solos, what made you go to the sidecar racing?
We saw one in Germany many years later, and an old friend of mine, Barry Briggs, said, "You better build one of them." I said, "Well, I'll have a go." And I said, "Well, what happens if we can't make it?" He said, "They got to catch you first." And of course, it was the lightness of the sidecar. It was really a solo bike with 2 tubes and a wheel on it, and a light passenger, and off we went. And because we made the mistake of coming out in September, and of course by about November, all the sidecar boys had got the hang of us, or hadn't got the hang of us rather, and a couple of committee meetings and we got banned, which was a shame really.
I was going to say, that was my next question. There was quite a bit of controversy at the time over the machine, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy, but see, the rules have been enforced for 50 years that you had to have 3 wheels and 2 men on there, and that's what we provided, but they said that was unfair apparently, but of course we were quite light those days, and the bike was light, and it was single cylinder, and of course that would outstart the twins because they would all spin on the line, and this old 500 Jap would just go. It was a wonderful experience, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And of course we could ride it once we got some bit more courage, we could ride it right hand as well. Just leaned it over the other way, and that blew all the right-handers off, which didn't go down too well.
Which created some more controversy.
Absolutely, yeah, a lot of controversy, but it was good fun while it lasted. And one or two mistakes I made is looking behind and put my hand up, waving these guys on, and they took that quite sadly, really, you know. But it was good fun, and we all had a lot of fun down in the southeast, and in particular, this track was definitely the favourite because it wasn't flat; it was, you know, undulating, and it called for a pair of big balls if you wanted to win it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Arnie Hendrickson. Ladies and gentlemen, a late entry for the Under-21 Championship this afternoon, Mr. Georgie Cross. George, it's great to see you here. You must be delighted to be here.
Pleasure. Yeah, I always enjoy myself down here. No problem at all. I meet so many old friends going back over the years, like I've met today. A chap I hadn't seen for 40-odd years. Passenger, a friend of mine who died, you know, earlier on. But it was good to see him, believe me. Yeah.
Now, obviously, you can tell us a whole host of memories about this superb venue.
Well, I could, but it's going back such a long while. A lot of water's gone under the bridge. I've come down here now, I think this is the third year back here, but I did race down here in the 60s, and it's still the same. I think it's in a bit better nick now than what it was, of course, but no, I really enjoy it. It's a very smooth ride, no doubt about that. Just a job for the under-21s, you know.
Now, do you think you can go out and give these youngsters a bit of a bashing this afternoon?
Pardon?
Can you give these youngsters a bit of a bashing if you go out with these under-21s this afternoon?
Well, I don't know. If the old girl's willing, I shall twist the wrist, as the saying is, and hope for the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. George Cross. Ladies and gentlemen, the last interview of the afternoon. The president of the club, a legend in his own right. Big welcome, Mr. Monty Banks. Monty, great to see you here, and obviously been busy chatting away. So many memories, so many old friends here today.
I just saying to Arnie, I can remember the times when, you know, when he first bought the Red Devil here, you know, the bike, he called it Red Devil because it was, you know, it was winning everything, and I can remember, God, we did have some battles, really. But it was I think it's the greatest track I've ever ridden on. You know, it's a good track, and I only just arrived, and believe you me, it took me 2 hours to get my wallet out of the gate, but the thing about it is that the people that's queuing up to come in, I hope they have a good day, and really, I hope that everybody goes home safely, you know, and I do think that the people that's been working on the track, I haven't done a lot or any help, but they've laid it out very well, and I think if the boys use their loaf, there should be some good racing here today, you know.
Now, you've ridden the length and breadth of England. Would you class this as your favourite venue?
Oh, definitely. This has been I used to be coming away from a speedway meeting, and people used to say, well, I've been at Rhodes Minnis, you know, and I said, you know, and we used to meet them halfway up from blooming, you know, up the motorway somewhere, you know, because it brings so many people here. I mean, we've had 8,000 people here before, you know, and we've had the Southern television thing and all that lot, you know, it's quite good, really.
Favourite memory of the place?
I think the favourite memory of the place is winning. I'm winning as much as I could. That's my best memories, you know. And having good battles and meeting them and all the good friends of the motorcycle people here. I'm looking round at them. Do they look blooming old? Eh? Do they look old? There's even Lou a year, 6 months younger than me. Look at him, he's looking ever so old. Anyway.
But obviously, carrying on with the tradition, you'll obviously be watching Trevor's racing with great interest this afternoon.
Well, he's bloody old and all. He's 15 next month, you know. So really, I think he'll do all right. You know, he's got good stock. Come from good stock, you know, hasn't he? Well, you can't help laughing, can you? Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the club, Mr. Monty Banks. Thank you very much for everybody that's come out, all these stars of yesterday. But let's not forget, without one man's tremendous effort, this could not happen. Yeah. And the man is just stood here with me. He moves heaven and earth to keep this place going. It is a unique feature of It is a unique fixture of Grasstrack racing. Please put your hands together, Mr. Graham Hurry.
In place of Scotland and Joanne Brian Brown. The reserve, Keith Whittaker at the parade of riders and tracks, so with those saying that it's concentrate on the parade of riders and come down in front of us, so we've been seeing some great defeating back in action. Andrew Mellis made a long run down from up north. Andrew's with us. 495 Bradley Point, 215 Steve Braidford, 68 Steve Braidford in the front bar. Sullivan number 13, Guy Whitlock, 51 David Bradley, number 13 William Pierce, 461 John Weeks, 71 the reigning champion John Rogers, number 6 Jim Norris, 43rd Adrian Rose, 25 Martin Russell, number 12 Medal on Jimmy down for North as well, Daniel Winterburn, the work from the Manchester area, they've been followed by Phil Ashcroft, 16 Mark Giles, 24. Number 2 for the banks, number 9 Mitch Godden. Number 10 followed by number 6 and number 11. Wayne Barrett, number 11. And then the reigning champion Paul Harvey is the last one. Come around. 81 number 7, and then it's going on for the 500 Sidecars, Neal for the champion, West Position. Number 72, the reigning British champion, great to see the 500 Sidecars, with today Shaun Harvey. 152, Richard number 2, 56, Wayne Reed, I think there's still things about that, the David and I thought to be sitting here racing today. Number 1, Clyde Willis, with his touch for 57, Mike Wood. Number 10, Tony Chris Ayres in the foot of the action, is David Wood, 21 Turner. British champion Andy and Kate Nicholson. 1, 2, 3, Phil Murcock, the baby, the Copper, and the crew from Worcester have Scott Francis and Paul Fisher, they leave us the forces or further stuff to these moving. Then followed by the 1000cc Sidecars, Red Wilson doing well, Red Wilson retiring at the end of the season, that's will create a great business. That is Ivor Matthews. And his passenger, I was very long time for this passenger, it's up here, the matter of Maxted, followed by 206 Nick Rowan and Golden. Number 8 going western end of his passenger, 121 River Smith, Steve Smith and Fraser Sullivan, 37 Andy Crosser, number 7 Paul Johnson, 7 Jones, 59 that's Phil 78, number 90 Nick Day with Martin Smith. 74, John Hitchcock, and Franklin Tyrrell, of course, that's number 74, 92, the reigning Masters champion for Whitelam. Steve Smith, who we spoke to there, 48, the Winterburn lads, making their way around. 87, Rob Bradley. What's the race here today is practice on both outputs, so it'll be interesting to see the count for the units. There's one going on the 184. That's John Hitchcock coming around. Both sides for John Hitchcock in fact. That was a mysterious thing we couldn't get out in the practice. Number 57. 5-7 going through 25, Colin Blackburn. Number 4, right to the other side of that game, Neal and Kevin Coleman, sounds so beautiful on the strap. The little Winterburns around 148, Blackburn the over and Wilson outfit number 5. 5 and 4, Ray Partridge and Andy Golding. So, if anybody we've just had John Halsey come in the box. Now, John, like Rod Wilson, is going to be retiring at the end of the season. He's been out there practicing and he's blown his bike up. So if anybody's got a spare sidecar that John Halsey could ride this afternoon, now, the pit crews, if you know your outfits are out there, if you've got a spare sidecar, because it would be a great loss for John not to be riding in the meeting this afternoon. He was absolutely flying in practice. So if anybody's got a spare outfit, then John Halsey is desperate to ride. And if anybody, and I'll say obviously the sidecar lads are on the track, if the pit crews can hear this, if you can pitch John up with an outfit, it will be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. We get in with the first demonstration. Number 7 is Keith Potts, number 68 is Chris Barwick, 48 is Brian Cornelius, and 25 is James Peters. For the go out for the first, 25 is James Peters. The first demonstration race of the afternoon is racing these old bikes. Going around there, still giving a real good go, some of these riders, as they go into that top corner then. All these second times down the bank and they dive and up the back straight. A little bit of dust coming out of that bottom of that bend as they got the back straight once again. James Peters, we think of the 4 riders that are out there for this first demonstration race of the afternoon. Keith Potts it is who leads then from Brian Cornelius in second, Chris Berwick in third, James Peters in fourth, as they go in the back straight on to lap number 3, and this one out now. James Peters going round in fourth place as the leader waits to come up the banking and come into view coming off that corner. Still Keith Potts then who leads them on to lap 4 from 48 Chris Berwick in second, Brian Cornelius is in third. As they go into that bottom corner once again, it's still Keith Potts who leads this demonstration race over the line. And Keith Potts wins demonstration race number 1. Followed by number 48, Brian Cornelius in second place. 68, Chris Berwick in third. James Peters in fourth place. Number 180 is George Cross. Number 8 is Gerry and Steve Wheeler for the sidecar demonstration. We don't know who the other outfit is out there, but if somebody would like to come and tell us as they go in the back straight for the first time in this demonstration of how sidecar racing used to be. I feel we're going to pot around, but I can see Gerry and Steve Wheeler making the big impact moving through into second place as we sit and put the banking for the first time. George Cross with Simon Wall in the chair in the leading outfit, Gerry and Steve Wheeler. 998 lead, but Gerry and Steve Wheeler make a move round the outside. First time, if you want to go look at these outfits, they will be in the pits. Stewart Towner and John Baldwin on the ex-Alan Hunt Vincent that lead the pack, then the back straight. In fact, they drop back to second place as the wheelers hit the front cylinder. Now back straight, these outfits will be in the pits if you'd like to come and have a look. Stewart Towner and John Baldwin and Mr. Baldwin has never passenger before. He volunteered at the age of 68 years of age to go out there, so obviously the thrill of a lifetime for these gentlemen as they go round up the banking once again. Steve and Gerry Wheeler pulling well clear at the front. They said they were going to tootle round, but they really are making a big impact. Steve Towner and John Baldwin on the outfit. And they'll be a little bit spun out going into the banking for the final time. So the last lap flag out, we look across to see them climb the bank. The sidecars of yesteryear who entertain. Oh, look, one of the outfits is slowing right up there. Steve and Gerry Wheeler, and number 998 comes across the line to win this demonstration. I say, if you want to look at these outfits, they will be in the pits, so I'm sure they'll be glad to talk to you. Steve and Gerry Wheeler coming across the line, 180. It's probably a long way round for those gentlemen who raced it many, many years ago, but great to see these outfits back on the track. Speed of 34.87 miles per hour. 34.87 miles per hour. And we go then for the first race of the day. The Kent Cams 500 sidecars making their first appearance on this fabulous track. Number 21, Nick Radley, Craig Matheson, former British champions. 56, Wayne Reid, Clive Preston. Lester Goodwin with Richard and Anthony Goodwin in the chair. Monty, British champions. Clive Willis, Tony Cook and Mike Reid. That's the outfits that come out for race number 1, the Kent Cams 500 sidecars. They were apparently, inside information is they were absolutely loving it in the practice. All making grooves for the starts there. You've got the reigning British champion, who is not out in this race actually, the reigning British champion, Lester Goodwin, multi-British champion, Nick Radley, former British champion, Tony Cook, always there or thereabouts. The Reeds, father and sons, tremendously quick outfits, so a very, very competitive opening race for the 500 sidecars on their first appearance on this Rhodes Minnis circuit. So Lester Goodwin on gate 1. Clive, they're not. As they come into line, then I can see Wayne Reid right in front of me, run on the outside. Nick Radley goes in next to him. Looks like Clive Willis, then going to him. Then Tony Cook, then Lester Goodwin, and looks like Mike Reid right on the inside. First race action of the day, 500 sidecars. Start girls leave the track, engines begin to pick up the revs. Everybody are ready, Wayne Reid making a good start, Nick Radley's also made a good start. Nick Radley leads into that bottom corner, Wayne Reid makes a move round the outside. We lose him momentarily, it's Nick Radley's made a good start, Wayne Reid trying to come through on the inside of Wayne Reid, gets on the outside to lead Nick Radley going to the back straight. Lester Goodwin in third, as they drop into that bank again, they're bunching up, there's a few comes on top, as they come back into view out of that bottom banking, they're virtually together, they come to the completely open, Wayne Reid leads it, from Nick Radley in second, Lester Goodwin goes to the third, well they get it, Clive Willis to fourth, Tony Cook and Mike Reid in fifth, in sixth, they go up the banking once again, still Wayne Reid, but Nick Radley's pushing very hard, and Lester Goodwin's working his way to the field, they're three abreast going down the back straight. Lester Goodwin leads him into it. Wayne Reid now drops back to third place with Nick Radley in second place. They come back into view out of the view, but it's Lester Goodwin leads you then from Wayne Reid gone back to the second. Clive Willis in third, Nick Radley back in fourth, Tony Cook in five, Mike Reid in sixth. That's the sixth. As Goodwin pulling clear the front from Reid in second, Clive Willis trying to get closer in third. They move to the back straight once again. Clive Willis making a line corner once again. closer back in fourth place, second and third and fourth. You can cover the blanket. Back into view they come with Lester Goodman, a race leader. On to last lap from Wayne Reid in second, Nick Bradley in third, Brian Willis in fourth, Tony Cook in five, Mike Reid in sixth. They move at the back straight once again, and Lester Goodman didn't make the best of starts, but he's pulling away now. Again, Nick Bradley having to go on the inside. Wayne Reid, they're going to the back straight. Harvey followed Harvey back. Going into this one. Nick Bradley gets down there to Wayne Reid to move through into that second place position, and it's Lester Goodman that comes in to win the first race today. Lester Goodman wins it. It's Wayne Reid who retakes that second place. Wayne Willis gets to the third, Nick Bradley in fourth, Tony Cook in five, Mike Reid in sixth place. Well, they're going to give the results for the points. That's what they usually do down here, the ladies tell me. So, outfit number 1 has got 4 points. Clyde Willis. Lester Goodwin has got 7 points. Outfit number 3. Tony Cook has got 2 points. 21 Nick Radley, 3 points. 56 Wayne Reid, 5 points. And 57 Mike Reid, 1 point. Winning time 1 minute 47.25. 1 minute 47.25. Race 2, British Under 21 Championship. Right on the line then for the first solo race today. Away they go all fighting the British. Doesn't look at Britcher all out there. Number 3, in fact, it looks like Tim Nobes is going to have the advantage going into that bottom corner the first time, but somebody's quickly round the outside. Tim Nobes holds the second place. They'll pick the numbers out. They come by. It looks like Thomas Cooper. They come in race number 2, the first into the British Under 21 Championship. Coming off the bank, there's no Richard Hall in the outfit number 53. There's Thomas Cooper leads there for Tim Nobes in second place. Daniel Gifford is in 4th, Paul Derrick is in 5, Andrew Mellish in 6th. That's the top 6 as they go up the bank and down the back straight. Once again, Tim Nobes is now at the front, and Tim Nobes throwing up. He's just at the finish, throwing up into that back straight. And they're closing up the first and second places. Thomas Cooper still leads. Looks like Daniel Gifford is pushing hard in second place as they come to complete lap number 2. Cooper leads and Gifford holding in second. We've got some guys in that banking once again. Andrew Mellish has gone through into 3rd. Paul Derrick is in 4th. Number 13, Rob Watts is in 5. 24th, Adam Filmer is in 6th. That's the 6th as Cooper still leads. Going to the back straight. Gifford trying to get closer in second. These two clear of Andrew Mellish in the 3rd place. Paul Derrick still holds the 4th. They come back into view again out of that ride, and it's still Cooper leading with Gifford trying to close the gap in second place. We watch him dive into that bottom corner and move back up the back straight. Mellish still holds the 3rd place position. As it's still Cooper leads, Gifford again taking the wide line, close the gap slightly going down the straight. Mellish a lonely ride in that 3rd place position. As Gifford almost on the shoulder of Cooper, probably been together, they cut the bank and then he come back to view once again. Cooper on the inside, Gifford going to speed down the outside. Cooper wins it. Second is Gifford. We look back for number 3rd, 17 Andrew Mellish to come across the line in 3rd. He's followed by Paul Derrick in 4th. Then number 13 Rob Watts in 5. And 24 Adam Fulmer in 6th place. Race 2, 10 points for 153 Thomas Cooper, 5 points for 117 Paul Derrick, 3 points for 24 Adam Fulmer. On the line for race 3, the Under 21 British Championship. Again, we'll give the result after race number 3. Wallace on the line for race number 3. British Champion Gerry Owen Lewis to the left of the side. start. Jamie Rogers makes a cracking start. Looks like he's leading that bottom corner for the first time. The reigning under 21 champion it is. Jamie Rogers leads it. Lewis Dunham didn't make the best of starters, quickly got the front wheel down in the third place from Braidford, then held back to the third position. And Jamie Rogers should be the leader, coming off the banking for the first time and back into their view. It is 71, Jamie Rogers leads it, and Steve Braidfield second. Lewis Dunham trying to close the gap and fit on the shoulder, and Steve Braidfield now. Yes. Kite is in fourth, Bradley Kite holds the fourth place as Lewis Dunham comes alongside Steve Braidfield, back to lap number 2, Jamie Rogers with a big lead, Steve Braidfield holds the second, Dunham again trying to close the gap in that third place, and then Kite holds the fourth place. They complete two then with Rogers the leader, Braidfield and Dunham merge together, they dive into that bottom banking once again. As they climb the bank in, it's Rogers who leads it from Braidford, second Dunham turns in a pair around the outside, comes alongside Braidford, these two shoulder to shoulder, again, Harvey committed to the outside line, he gets on the edge to Braidford to move through into second place position, as Rogers comes up the bank and to lead him on to 4, Dunham trying to close the gap in second, Braidford holds the third, and that's on 3, as they drive up the back straight once again, it's still Rogers relief, and Dunham in second, Dunham almost down there, Kite holds the 4, Adrian Lowe in 5, David Radley is in 6, that's the top 6, as they look at that start with the front of Dunham has definitely closed the gap on Jamie Rogers. They come back into view for the final time. It's 71, Jamie Rogers crosses the line first. Jamie Rogers wins it. Lewis Dunham gets the second. Steve Braidford gets the third. That's for the fourth place order. It should be Bradley Kite coming across the line in 4. David Radley in 5. Adrian Rowe in 6. They're followed by John Weeks and number 68. If we go back to race 2, Tim Nobes, no points. Daniel Gifford, 8 points. Rob Watts, 4 points. Andrew Mellish, 6 points. Adam Filmer, 3 points. Paul Derrick, 5 points. Thomas Cooper, 10 points. Winning time, 1 minute 37.9. Race 4 then on the line, the first heat of the Sea France Grand Slam Solos. Shane Coleman in, for Joe Screen, Vince Kinchin in, for Philip Austin. Away they go, Richard makes the crucial start. It's number 6, Daniel Rapp, that makes the cracking start lead. Into that bottom corner, 40 first on the bank, and he goes, Rapp leads it then. Trevor Banks worked his way to field and move through into second place, which he drops back to 4. Half and end of that place, puts on the back. They go through from 4th to 2nd as they climb the bank and he come into view for the first time then. It's Ross who leads it then from Banks in second, and Banks under tremendous pressure for number 4 as he goes through into that second place. That's Gerry Hickman gone through into second place. Vince Kinchin way down the field, strange to see Vince so far back. Trevor Banks again back round the edge of Hickman and moves through into second place at Ross tremendously. One is third, holding up to the in 4. That's the top 4 as they come up to view again. It is Mr. Rapp who still leads it then from Banks in second, Hickman in third, Ben Phillips in 4. That's the top 4 as they go in the back straight on lap number 2. Daniel Rapp, the career race leader from Trevor Banks in the second place position. Ben Phillips on and works his way to the field as they lead it back into view again and lead on to lap 4. It's Daniel Rapp the leader then from Trevor Banks holding the second place position. Gareth Hickman is still in third. Glenn Phillips closing up in third. Shane Coleman is in 5. Richard Smith is in 6. That's the top 6. With Vince Kinchin in 7 and the 38th place. But it's Daniel Rapp, one of the foreign visitors here this afternoon. Really comes into view for the final time. It's number 6, Daniel Rapp, that wins race number 4. Look back to Trevor Banks in second place, Gareth Hickman in third, Glenn Phillips in 4, Shane Coleman in 5, Richard Smith 6, Vince Kinchin 7, and number 13 Julian Phipps in 8th place. Back to race 3, the result for race 3, the points. 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71, 71,
Martin Raffle, no points. Adrian Rowe, 3 points. David Radley, 4 points. Daniel Barmick, 1 point. Jamie Rogers, 10 points. Steve Braidford, 6 points. Jack Meredith, 2 points. Bradley Kite, 5 points. Lewis Denham, 8 points. Winning time, 1 minute 32.67. 1 minute 32.67. Race 5 then, Steve France Grand Slam Slow-Lows, second heat again, the reigning European champion, and third in the World Long Track overall. Paul Hurry is in this one with Phil Ashcroft, Mitch Godden, Dave Mears, Wayne Barrett, Daniel Winton, Martin Sturgeon and Mark Giles. Making a cracking start. Daniel Winton's got with him. Paul Hurry has made a dreadful start from the inside, and Paul's going to have to work his way right for the field now. He's back in about 7. In fact, he's in last place. They're going to the back straight for the first time. We're just looking at Paul Hurry to work his way to the field. Holding that second place, picking with Mitch Godden in third. As they come out of the bank, coming to view on lap number 1 then. Who was it who's got the lead? They come by for the first time. It is number 15, Martin Sturgeon, for Daniel Winton second. Mitch Godden is in third. Paul Hurry worked his way to the field, has gone through into about 5th place. With Mitch Godden making a move around the outside of Daniel Winton. As Sturgeon is in Godden second. Winton in third. He's picked off 2 riders going into the dip. They climb the banking and come back into view again. Sturgeon leads them, but Godden in second. Hollins up to third. With Giles in 4, Winton back in 5. Wayne Barrett is in 6, Phil Ashcroft in 7, Dave Mears in 8. That's the 8, and somebody's packed up at the front. The leader has packed up with a 6-point with a 6-point mixed up by Paul Hurry, who's gone 6 and 8 to first. They're moving on to lap number 4 then. It's Hurry who leads them, then Godden second. Godden trying to close the gap there in that second place, and Giles in 3rd, Winston 4. It's still Wayne Barrett in 5, Phil Ashcroft in 6, Dave Mears in 7. They go in the back straight for the top 5, and it's Paul Hurry who's had to work his way right through to 8th place after making a dreadful start from the inside gate in race number 5. It's Paul Hurry that wins race number 5, from Mitch Godden getting the second place position. 16, Mark Giles gets the 3rd. We look back to see who comes. Phil Ashcroft comes into view in 4, Dave Mears in 5, so we've lost certainly Daniel Winterton. We've lost Wayne Barrett and Daniel Winterton on that last lap. Going back to race 4. Race 4, the points. Shane Colvin, 4 points. Trevor Banks, 8 points. Richard Smith, 3 points. Glenn Phillips, 5 points. Vince Kinchin, 2 points. Daniel Rath, 10 points. Julian Phillips, 1 point. Gareth Hickmott, 6 points. Winning time, 1 minute 31.45. 1 minute 31.45. I was looking at the wrong thing. Exactly. So coming into line then for race 6, Steve Smith on the inside, then there's a gap, then Miguel Matthew, then Rob Wilson, then Rob Bradley, then Paul Whitelam. 5 outfits for race 6. Who's going to get the crucial start? Whitelam gets an absolute one. Rob Wilson gets well, and Matthew's very slow away, as is Steve Smith. Rob Bradley moves through in the 3rd place. They've got in the banking Paul Lee first time up the back straight. They'll appear in a moment. It's Paul Whitelam released for Rob Wilson in 2nd place. Rob Bradley in 3rd. Along that back straight into the dip on the top corner. It is outfit number 92, Paul Whitelam and Nicky Owen at lead. They come by us poorly first time, flying at the front from Rob Wilson in Wales. Rob Bradley's in third, Ivan Matthews trying to close the gap in fourth place on the shoulder of Rob Bradley as they go into the dip. Back in the view comes Paul Whitelam. Rob Wilson definitely getting close to second place. Number 10 of Rob Bradley trying to get back into contention in fifth place as a leader. Climbs the bank into complete lap number 2. It is Paul Whitelam and Nicky Owen that lead it from Rob Wilson in well in second. Rob Bradley is in third. Ivan Matthews again at the rear will go at Rob Bradley, and Ivan Matthews cuts to the inside. Rob Bradley needs to ride a blocking line there going into that bottom corner. It is White in the lead. Rob Bradley in third. Matthews again trying to get round there. Close the gap with every turn of the wheel. Tremendous scrap for third, fourth and fifth places as Whitelam leads it, then moving on to fourth and Wilson in second. These two pulling away from Bradley, still hanging on to that third. Matthews again taking a move round the outside in fourth, and Steve Smith driving from the inside of the Matthews. They're really bunching up for the third and fourth places, and Rob Wilson starting to the back straight for the final time. Wilson in second, Bradley in third, Matthews in fourth, Smith in five. The checkered flag out then for number 92. Paul Whitelam wins it from Rob Wilson in second place. Will that scrap continue for third and fourth? It's just Rob Bradley in third, for Ivan Matthews in fourth, Steve Smith in fifth place. Race 6, the points. Steve Smith, Carl Squirrel, 2 points. No points for John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Number 15, Ivan Matthews, Mick Stace, 3 points. 24, Rob Wilson, Ian Well, 5 points. 87, Rob Bradley, Shaun Simpson, 4 points. And 92, Paul Whitelam and Nicky Owen, 7 points. Winning time, 1 minute 42.13. 1 minute 42.13, 52.06 miles per hour. 52.06 miles per hour. Return to race page 17. We move on to race 7, the 1000cc Grand Slam Sidecars. These all racing for points in those semi-finals, and to get into the final, Nicky Owen, Paul Johnson, Gerry and Craig Parmenter, Colin Blackburn, Reg Blackburn and Mark Cosser. Looks to be a couple of outfits like for this one. The number 18, Gerry and Craig Parmenter, and Reg Blackburn and Martin Bailey. Non-style look for race number 7. Got Neal Owen and Kevin Coleman on that Godden. The sound is so unique of that machine. Then on the inside, Paul Johnson next to him, then Colin Blackburn, then Mark Cosser. That's the 4 outfits for race number 7. Away they go, and Colin Blackburn gets an absolute bar again. The inside gate, a very, very fair way indeed. And Cosser goes through in the second with Owen in third, Johnson in fourth. As we look for Colin Blackburn to climb the banking with a clear lead over Cosser in second. Owen has got the third place, Johnson in third. Colin Blackburn with Paul Whitelam Jr. in the chair, and Neal Owen making a big move around the outside of that dip to try and get that second place. But it's still Blackburn and leads it then from Cosser in second. Owen is in third. Johnson in fourth place. Into the dip they disappear. We'll look for it again. Colin Blackburn leading as they got that back straight. Yes, it is Colin Blackburn leading. Mark Cosser in second place. Neal Owen. Paul Johnson and Kevin Jones in that fourth place position. The bank and they come then. And Colin Blackburn increasingly with every turn of the wheel over Mark Cosser in second. Now Neal Owen really had their go as they making a move around the outside as they go into the dip. Once again we see Colin Blackburn climb the dip. the clear leader. Costa still in second, but Neal Owen's definitely closed the gap. He loses them again. One of the ground there to Mark Costa, who still holds his second place position. As Colin Blackburn and Paul Whitelam Jr., the clear race leaders on to lap 4 then. From Mark Costa still in second, Neal Owen as the third, Paul Johnson in fourth place. See Paul Johnson disappear as we see Colin Blackburn climbing the bank at the other side of the track. Mark Costa again in second, he's pulling away from Neal Owen in third, getting a little bit time in the first heat of the Grand Slam sidecars. It is still Colin Blackburn and Paul Whitelam that winning. Second is Mark Costa and Hayden Benn. Third place goes to Neal Owen and Kevin Colborne. Fourth place Paul Johnson and Kevin Jones. Race 7. Outfit number 4, Neal Owen has got 4 points. Number 7, Paul Johnson, 3 points. Outfit number 18, no points. 25, Colin Blackburn, 7 points. 26, Reg Blackburn, no points. And 37, Mark Costa Hayden Bend, 5 points. Winning time, 1 minute 43.20, 1 minute 43.20, 51.52 miles per hour, 51.52 miles per hour. Race 8, there's a change to your programme with Richard Thomas, number 60, not going in his place, but number 5, Matt Formarola and Andy Wilson. Who makes a real good start. The Winterburns get away with him as well. Tollersby from Winterburn in second place. As they go up the back straight once again, Tollersby, Winterburn is in second place. A lot to do at the back now as the leader comes into view for the first time. It's Duncan Tollersby seems to the passenger, but change of passenger for Duncan Tollersby. It's Winterburn who hold the second place and Formarola in third. Number 90, McDay is in 4. Matt Tyrrell in 5 as they go. Matt Tyrrell in 6. Wally at the back as they go up the back straight once again. And it's John Thomas in Formarola. Pulling away the front. Winterburn holds on to the second place. Formarola trying to close the gap in third. Duncan Thomas leads the complete two then. So Winterburn in second. Formarola is in third. McDay is in 4. Stoneman is in 5. Tyrrell in 6, that's the 6. They got the back straight once again. Duncan Thomas well cleared the front. On that second place position. Matt Formarola, Andy Wilson trying to close the gap in third. Coleman is in 5. As Thomas leads on the 4 then. The Winterburn in second. Formarola in third. Day is in 4. Stoneman in 5. Tyrrell 6. The back straight then goes Duncan Thomas in the chair. Well cleared at Winterburn. Place position. Trying to close the gap in third. Second flag out then. Number 74. Duncan Thomas who wins it. From Ronald Tristan Winterburn in second. Matt Formarola, Andy Wilson in third. Mick Day, Martin Smith in 4. Clive Stoneman, Roland Broomford in 5. Matt Tyrrell and Shaun Yates in 6th place. Race 8 then, the points. Number 48, Rodentris Winterburn, 5 points. 57, Clive Stoneman, Roland Broomfield, 2 points. Number 5, Matt Formarola, Andy Wilson, 4 points. 69, Matt Tyrrell, Shaun Yates, 1 point. 74, Duncan Tollers and Terry Saunter, 7 points. Number 90, Mick Day, Martin Smith, 3 points. 1 minute 41.45. 1 minute 41.45s, 52.41 miles an hour. 52.41 miles per hour. Race 9 then, another heat of the Grand Slam sidecars. Wayne Westaway, Steve Smith, Chris Winterburn, John Hiscott, Mark Warren and Ryan Partridge, the outfits for race number 9. Just waiting for John Hiscott to come into line then. Just checking the grip there before moving into that number 4 gate. Late point off with number 5 and 4. Ryan Partridge makes a checking start. John Hiscott has gone through. Looks like Wayne Westwood is followed in through with Partridge in third. As Hiscott gets an absolute fly lead into that dip for the first time. And Hiscott leads going at the dip for the first time. It looks like Partridge is in second. Along that back straight. Up and down with the swage of the track there, up the bank, and they come for the first time to complete the opening lap. Then it is John Hiscott and Simon Wall with a good lead from Ryan Partridge and Andy Coleman. Wayne Westaway is in third. It's Chris Winterburn is in fourth. That's the top 4. That's the leader up that back straight once again. John Hiscott. He gets right back there. Ryan Partridge still in second. Wayne Westaway holding third place. Winterburn's trying to close the gap in fourth. If Hiscott leads and put in 2 then from Partridge in second. It's Westaway in third. Winterburn's hold the 4th place position. Followed by Mark Warren in 5 and Steve Smith in 6. They got the back straight once again. And Andy Coleman in second place. Westaway. Mark Courtney hold the third from Chris Winterburn, Jamie Lowry in 4th. As they move it on to 4 then, it's Hiscott with a good lead from Partridge in second. Westaway hangs on to that third. Winterburn's again trying to close the gap in 4th place. The lead in 4 going up the back straight. There's 5th and 6th. That's Mark Warren and Steve Smith on to 3rd. That quick start really came now as he's on that top corner for the final time. It's going to be a win for 184 John Hiscott and Simon Wall. They win race number 9. Second is Ryan Partridge and Andy Colvin. 3rd place goes to Wayne Westaway and Mark Courtney. 4th is Chris Winterburn and Jamie Lowry. And we look back for should be Mark Warren and Gary Lux, followed by Steve Smith and Fraser Sutherland. Result then of race number 9, points. 118 Wayne Westaway, 4 points. 121 Steve Smith, 1 point. 148 Chris Winterburn, 3 points. 184 John Hiscott, 7 points. 306 Mark Warren, 2 points. And 514 Ryan Partridge, 5 points. 1 minute 43.52. 1 minute 43.52. A speed of 51.36 miles per hour. Up we go to race number 10 for the 500 sidecars. You go back to page 13 in your programme. For race 10, 1 chains, Scott Dunn and Joanne Brian Brown go out, and you bring in 1, 2, 3, Paul Moorcock and John Cook. The reigning British champion Shaun Harvey out this time. That's the good win, didn't make the start, but came through the back to win the first in 500 sidecars. And when they go, that's the good at making a much better start this time and leads Going in that dip for the first time, a real bunch out for the other place, but Lester Goodwin making no mistake, made a real quick start and leads in the back straight for the first time then. Really then. Number 72, Shaun, Harvey and Denny Hogg have gone through into second place. They'll pick them out, they come by for the first time. Lester Goodwin leads it from 72, Shaun, Harvey and Denny Hogg in second. Wayne Reid is in third. Tony Cook in fourth. Four more, Cook in five. It's Mike Reid in six. They go up the back straight once again. Lester Goodwin leads it, but Shaun Harvey's really on his tail there now as they go in the back straight. Harvey to go right round the outside. They come into view from out of the banking, and they're virtually together with Lester Goodwin on the outside. It's still Shaun Harvey trying to come through on the inside. These two pulling away from Wayne Reid in third. Tony Cook is in third. Four more, Cock in five. Mike Reid in six. And the tremendous move there by Shaun Harvey round the outside is on the shoulder of Goodwin as they go. Tremendous racing between these two. The champion, they dive on top as they come back into view. Onto lap 3, it's still Goodwin back on the inside line. He's pulling away smartly from Shaun Harvey in second place. They move it on to lap 4. Wayne Leeson in third. Tony Cook in fourth. We look at that scrap in the front again, and Shaun Harvey making a tremendous move again up that banking. But again, Goodwin has the advantage going to the back. Come on, Tom, like 2 bikes between these two. It's coming on. Making his move out the outside. We wait for the comeback. But it's Lester Goodwin. Shaun Harvey comes to the inside. Lester Goodwin from Shaun Harvey in second place. Wayne Reid picks up the third with Tony Cook in third. Paul Moorcock in 5 and Mike Reid in 6th place. Super 500cc sidecar action there in race number 10 with a former champion beating the reigning champion. Race 10 then, the points. Number 3, Lester Goodwin, 7 points. Number 10, Tony Cook, 3 points. 56, Wayne Reid, 4 points. 57, Mike Reid, 1 point. 72, Shaun Harvey, 5 points. And 1, 2, 3, Paul Moorcock, 2 points. The winning time, 1 minute 43.52. The speed, 51.36 miles an hour, exactly the same time as race 9 for the 1000cc sidecar. Race 11 turns to the British Under-21 Championship page in your programme. Richard Hall, number 3, will be a non-starter. Tim Nose needs the points on the bonus. Oh, and Tim Nose has looped at the start. Tim Nose looped at the start. He's gone down the big ways, lay across the track. We all look at red flags around. Red flags are out straight away for Tim Nose. One of the most spectacular riders on the track, and Tim has front wheel came up in front of his face out of the start. And let's hope that Tim is going to be okay. So race 11, a restart, somewhat depleted lineup for the restart. Looks to be lost number 2 and number 24 from race 11. The restart British Under-21 Championship. David Radley right on the outside, Bradley Kite on the inside. Steve Braidford, little Jamie Rogers alongside him, Thomas Q. They burst together with Adrian Rowe as well. Interest who gets in that corner first, but as they come into view, it's Steve Braidford leads with Jamie Rogers in second place. Bradley Kite is in third. They go in the back straight for first time. Steve Braidford leads, Jamie Rogers easily pulling away from Bradley Kite in third. Thomas Cooper is in 4, Adrian Rowe is in 5. As they come into view this time, it is Steve Braidford with a good lead and Jamie Rogers looking to get in for that position. Bradley Kite is in third, Thomas Cooper in 4, Adrian Rowe is in 5, David Radley is in 6. That's the 6 left. They go in the back straight once again. It's still Braidford leading. Want to close the gap in second. Cooper definitely getting close in 4. Adrian Rowe in his 5 as Cooper makes the move on into into third place, but still Steve Braidford leads it. But Jamie Rogers definitely starting to get to work there in second place. He's closed the gap starting in second with Cooper in third, Kite in 4. Rowe is in 5. Bradley in 6. Then the back straight. Go the leading 2. The gap to play is 9. But they dive into that ship. It's still Steve Braidford with the lead from the Jamie Rogers in second place. These 2 clear of Thomas Cooper in third. Bradley Kite in 4. Adrian Rowe in 5. But now Rogers definitely closed the gap on that bank. And he's 2 bites behind Braidford. They dive into that bottom corner again. Braidford's around the outside. Rogers trying to come back up the inside line. There's 3 bites between them. Braidford seems to be the quicker. Going down that back. Rogers do they go in the dip. He made a lot of ground on that last stop in the dip. When them come back into view for first and second place, it's still Braidford looking back to see where Rogers is, and Steve Braidford gets it, but Jamie Rogers in second place. It's Thomas Cooper coming across the line in third. Bradley Kite is in 4. Adrian Rowe in 5. David Radley in 6th place. You move on to race 12, they give you the result of race 11 immediately after race 12. See Paul Gerry right on the outside, marching rapid towards the middle of the grid, number 5, and they're giving them a good opening line. Where they go, it looks like Lewis Denham on the inside, making a good start, and trying to work his way through on the inside, going into that dip for the first time. I think it's Gifford who leads at the back straight. Lewis Denham has already gone through into 30, now moves through in the second place. It looks like Gifford leads at the back straight for the first time. Lewis Denham pushing on in the second place position. I can see Andrew Mellish in 4th place. We'll pick them up as they come into view then for the first time. It is Gifford who leads it, with Denham in second. Denham trying to make a move running into Gifford. They enter that dip once again. Mellish in 3rd. Derek is in 4th. That's the top 4 at the bank, and they go once again. Denham trying to make a move from the inside. Gifford to the bike between these 2 and then the back spread on lap number 2. Gifford again round the outside. Denham takes the one side of the line as they enter it. Mellish now up in the 3rd place. They look for the leading 2. They come up together again. They're shoulder to shoulder. They complete 2. It's still Gifford who just leads it. Denham again dives through on the inside on the entry to that dip on the top corner, and Denham now hits the front half and then the back straight, and Gifford in second. It's still Mellish holding that 3rd place. Mellish in 4th. That's the top 4. Into the dip again on lap number 3. It's Denham number 81 who leads it to Gifford number 5 in second. They move it on to 4 this time, and Denham coming away from Gifford in second place. You look at that leading 2 as they disappear momentarily. Andrew Mellish still hangs on to that 3rd with Paul Derrick in 4th place. As Lewis Denham now starting to pull away the front with Gifford in second. Martin Platt up to 5, number 13 in 6. Jack Meredith is in 7th. As the leader comes up that bottom corner, 30 follow time is the win for number 81, Lewis Denham. Second is number 5, Daniel Gifford. It should be Andrew Mellish to pick up the 3rd place position as he lost him in a view. Comes back in the view again. Andrew Mellish gets the 3rd place. And Paul Derrick in 4th. Rob Watts gets the 5. Martin Raffle in 6th. Jack Meredith in 7th place. Result of race 11. Race 11. Number 2, Tim Noves, no points. 3, Richard Orr, no points. 24, Adam Filmer, no points. 44, Adrian Rowe, 4 points. 51, David Radley, 3 points. 71, Jamie Rogers, 8 points. 153, Thomas Cooper, 6 points. 215, Steve Braidford, 10 points. 495, Bradley Kite, 5 points. Winning time, 1 minute 32.88. 1 minute 32.88. Speed, 57.24 miles per hour. Race 13 is on the line. Shane Coleman in there for Joe Stream. Vince Kinchin to Philip Austin. As the riders come into line then for race 13, Seafront, Grandstand follows, and there you go. And number 1, Shane Coleman, lips at the start is number 11. Wayne Barrett trying to make his move first. They go for the first time. He'll pick them up as they come into the Ashcroft, work his way to British Confident, 4th to 3rd. First on the Martin Surgeon in that second place position. The bank and they come for the first time in race number 13. Mitch Godden leads them for Martin Surgeon second. Velasquez is in 3rd. Wayne Barrett is in 4th. Shane Coleman in 5. Vince Kinchin towards the back of the field as they go up the back straight once again. Mitch Godden making the best of it. Lead over Martin Surgeon second place. Consolidates that third. Wayne Barrett in 4th. Same position going on to 5th and 6th. Shane Coleman drops back to 6th place. As Mitch Godden leads, can put in 2 then from Sturgis in second. Ashcroft in 3rd. Barrett is in 4th. Julian Phipps is in 5. That's the top 5 with Shane Coleman in 6th. As Mitch Godden down the back straight. Big on the time then. Close the gap in 3rd. Coming in pressure for that 3rd place position. As the leader, Mitch Godden leads them on to 4 then. Clear of Sturgeon in 2nd place. Ashcroft is in 3rd. Barrett is in 4th. Phipps is in 5, Colvin in 6, Kinchin in 7. That's the 7 runners in race number 13. And Mitch Godden increases lead all the time. From that second. Velasquez better ride control is picking up the 3rd place position as Mitch Godden gets the winning ride. Second is Martin Sturgeon. Velasquez gets the 3rd place. Wayne Barrett is in 4th. Julian Phillips in 5, Shane Coleman in 6, Vince Kinchin in 7th place.